Hello. This is just going to be a brief look at Styrkaar of the Sortsvinaer. I guess I'm going to butcher his name several times in here. This is from the campaign that I recently won. I'm playing another one now, now that I know a little bit more about the mechanics of this Slaanesh subfaction. You can get Styrkaar very, very easily. Early on, maybe 7 or 8 levels in, you'll begin his quest line. The most difficult portion of that quest line is that you have to have a successful wound or assassination attempt on an enemy. And at the beginning, you're going to start only with this Druki Anointed on your roster. I did very early on get a second hero. I'm not sure which one of these it was. It wasn't the Alluris. She was given to me. And it took me, I think, 1, maybe 2 turns to get that started. The second part of the quest line is just to do a number of post-battle captives. So you'll have to fight a couple of battles. Remember that post-battle captives are based off the number of people that you kill, and then after the battle is one rundown. So you can get him more quickly by getting into a fight with a large number of infantry. Cathay or the Empire should be available to you. And then you run them down. Like most legendary heroes, he comes with his own set of gear. Let's take a look at this. So the Armor of Disdain, armor, ward save, wound recovery time. And again, wound recovery time, you should never be getting any of your legendary heroes killed. Melee defense, and then the passive chaos armor, constant damage reflection, and block jets. This makes him nigh on unkillable. I don't think I've ever seen him take any hits, really, in fights. He's just unrelentingly durable. We've got this one here, the weapon, the Blade of Endless Boasts. Magical attacks, melee attack, weapon strength, armor piercing, weapon damage, all decent stuff. The Sonic Boom. This thing here, every minute and a half, just an explosion local to him. Very similar to the kind of thing that Cetra and Khalida has, but also disorients the enemy. So of course you're going to rush him into a set of enemies and just start fighting, laying waste. The Sign of Depravity. Control in the local province, growth in the local province. None of that really matters because you're not going to sit him anywhere growing or controlling. You do increase Slaanesh corruption, which is nice. And then the passive ability here. This is really quite spectacular. Allies get speed and leadership. Enemies lose speed and melee defense in a range as leadership waivers. So I believe there are some Slaanesh factions that heal as enemies waver or run. And you're going to cause a lot of low morale and running away in terror and breaking of morale, because that's part of the mechanics of Slaanesh. There's a lot of leaders that lower leadership. His starting abilities here, he's immune to flanking, which is fine. That means that he can run into melee and not worry about being attacked from the rear. Leadership for Marauders, upkeep for Marauders. My first run through, I leaned heavily into Marauders. In this current one I'm playing, that's not envisioned here. I'm just running around with a hero Doom stack. He does currently have pretty good physical resistance and pretty good ward save. You can see he's got just 121 defense with a silver shield, good weapon, good melee defense. He's extraordinarily fast. He's on this demonic steed. You can see if we took him off, he loses some 30-odd speed. The demonic steeds are they're little snaky-looking things. They're extremely fast. He is currently, is he large? Yeah, not sure. He's probably large. Okay, let's see what else we've got in here. Hide in the forest, immune to flanking, unyielding assault. That's like a lot of these guys seem to have. And then here's all his abilities that we've just taken a look at. Glorious Sword, I'm not sure where that comes from. His stat lines. You got your typical down here. I do like to do training, especially if it's a hero stack, to get all the heroes leveled up. This is very, very typical. Nothing new down here. This is just his mounts. Again, we talked about this last time. There's not really a lot of corn out here in Cathay, so that doesn't really matter. Eye of the Gods just to increase his weapon strength. Aura of Chaos to increase his missile defense. I've got 2 points to give him, but it's on automatic because I've already grabbed all of this stuff. So this one here will open up around level 12. I think this one is a little higher. I know that this one I filled in first. Recruit rank for Marauders, recruit cost for Marauders, and casualty replenishment rate for Marauders. So that makes him, you know, essential to a Marauder-based army because you can get into fights and everybody heals up, everybody fights better. Here we go with fear for Marauder units. So if all the Marauders are close fear, which against the Skaven and the Empire and Cathay that you have in the Eastern lands, is going to be very, very powerful. This one here, income from post-battle loot for the Lord, speed for the Marauder units, and physical resistance for Marauders. And finally, this one here, he can do every 2 minutes he can give leadership, terror, and fear to a unit that's with him. Usually plonk that down on one of the other heroes, and you get terror routes. Down here, Harsh Past, hit points and ward save for him. This dreadful reputation, this soporific musk is on a lot of attacks. I think the first person I saw it on was the beautiful guy out west with the long blonde hair. I can't ever remember his name. And then Feasting on Fear here. Regeneration. Effect intensity increases by each enemy unit in range with leadership wavering. So this is a range of 30 meters, a heal per second. So this is your healing for Slaanesh. You want to get everybody bunched up around Styrkaar so that they can take in some healing, replenishing the hit points of the combatants. And since you're going to be lowering the melee and wavering the melee and routing enemies, this is going to regenerate quite a bit of health. Finally, this one here, Vigor Loss Reduction and Unbreakable. This is a pretty easy set to get. You can see there's no doubles. Everything is just a single point, and you'll get those pretty quickly. I think he's an outstanding and strong legendary hero. He's very much this is what the AI has done based off of this. I haven't been running him around doing that. He increases the strength of your army, he increases your lord, he increases the strength of your marauder units. Taking regular, tier 0, tier 1 marauder units all the way into the mid to late game is terrific. Although the truth is, this army right here is all you really need. This is what I'm running around with her. I've got my armies are actually being led by other lords like these guys here. So he's easy to get. He's definitely worth getting. He's definitely worth coddling. He lends so much to an army. Probably one of the best melee legendary lords there is. Still not as powerful and devastating as the magic lords that you can get, like Ariel and Croak and Coadil. Coadil especially because he's a tree man and he can fight too. But he's just a great addition. A good example of power creep. They didn't really need this guy, but I always go looking in the lore and I find that he's relatively popular and he's a pretty well-known character. So definitely worth getting, which you probably will anyway, and you'll enjoy him.